Once a music mogul known for luxury and power, he's now locked away in a cell where even the faintest hope feels out of reach. And now, his own daughters are coming forward with every heartbreaking detail.
Hi, you guys look good. Oh my God. You know what's so great? Listen, I'm a mom, and I feel like I've watched you guys grow up. How you doing tonight?
Great, amazing. We're super excited.
Yes, we're so excited for the show tonight.
Yes, we're very proud of our dad. We can't believe it.
Okay, wait a second. Let me ask you this. Who takes longer to get ready, your dad or you all?
Our dad.
Our dad takes so long to get ready.
We take like 2 hours. He takes like 3.5, maybe pushing 4. But it's worth it. He does it because it's worth it. So.
I gotta tell you something. At the Met Gala, Diddy put on a show going up the steps, but then he left and gave like New York City an entirely different show after. I love it. I live for it. How proud are you of him?
Oh my gosh. I don't think you guys understand. We are so proud. Like, I can't even believe it's like it's here.
Yeah, we're so proud of like everything he's accomplished over all these years, and like for him to be honored as an icon this year is like really amazing.
And it's even big because it's global. It's the global icon. So it's like he's the icon of the universe, the world. Everybody knew that. Okay. But, yeah, it's confirmed.
Let me ask you this, because I have 2 little girls, and it's different, right? Like the not necessarily the persona, but how people know you, and then how your children know you are 2 kind of totally different things.
Yeah.
What kind of dad is Diddy? Is Sean Combs?
He's a very fun one. Yeah, it's fun.
He does a lot of adventures with us.
Yeah.
Like
he's structured as well. Like we have structure, you know. We don't get to do whatever we want. We don't get whatever we want. We're very like, you know.
he also has like a fun side.
We have fun with him, but then we have like the dad side. We have the dad side, the serious side, then like the fun, chill, let's play, let's go do this.
This isn't just another celebrity scandal. It's a raw expose pulling back the curtain on the harsh truth of life behind bars. At the center of it all is Diddy. Yes, the same Sean Diddy Combs who once ruled the red carpets. Now, he's a shadow of his former self. He's thinner, his hair noticeably whiter, and a mysterious midnight MRI has only added to the growing concerns about his health. Today, we're diving deep into the grim reality of his prison life, revealing the shocking conditions he faces daily and the emotional toll it's taking on his family.
We went over a lot of disturbing things, and again, we are going through a lot of disturbing details today, so just a heads up there before we get into things. But yeah, lots to go over. Very, very...
Lots of lawsuits.
Freaky. Yeah.
Tons of lawsuits.
Not looking good
Leaked
for Diddy.
Jail call. We have a lot of victims coming forward telling their stories on docuseries and also filing lawsuits that are revealing a lot of new details that we didn't know before. And shit just gets scarier and scarier. I mean, this guy is just an absolute demon.
Yeah, he
monster.
really is. Yep. That's like the best way to describe him. He is
Diabolical.
Such a vile,
Yeah.
excuse for a human being. And yeah, speaking of that, what was that docuseries on H? It's called Fall of Diddy.
Yeah.
That is really well done. And if you want to hear directly from victims, I would definitely check that out. Especially the last 2 episodes really have some very, disturbing but important interviews.
Starts first week in May, so this is coming up really quickly. And Diddy is right now, every day we know this, hammering out what that defense is going to be with his attorneys.
And you know, there are so many people who think he's dead to rights, that this thing is over before it begins.
It always feels like that, especially before federal trials, because you get to read the indictment. You have not all, but you have much of what the prosecution is going to be.
But there's something additional.
Of their strategy.
There's something additional here. You're right that they hear about all of that. But what they're also hearing is these other lawsuits that have been filed by all these civil law firms, and you're hearing about minors, which aren't going to be part of the criminal case. You're hearing about all these videos with celebrities, not going to be part of the criminal case. And
the Cassie video.
The Cassie video is going to be part. Right. We're going to get to that in a minute with the jury. But what we did was, number one, we showed them the prosecution's case from one of our documentaries. And then we showed them the defense from the current documentary. And we asked them to deliberate and to vote. Now, there are 3 charges that Diddy is on trial for. Racketeering, sex trafficking, and also the interstate commerce of prostitution. If you think this was a slam dunk, not with our mock jury.
Locked away in the special housing unit of a notorious Brooklyn jail, a place long branded as barbaric for its violence and inhumane conditions, Diddy now faces a harsh, unforgiving reality. Despite trying to keep his spirits up, sources say the brutal environment of the Metropolitan Detention Center is wearing him down. His once sharp, commanding appearance has faded, now gaunt and frail. The change is more than just physical. It's a haunting reflection of a crumbling empire. A recent New York Post report described how he looked shockingly thinner during a pre-trial hearing, with gray-streaked hair that reveals the relentless stress and decline of a man once at the top.
We believe, based on reporting, that he's being housed in the MDC's special housing unit, which our understanding mostly consists of him sitting in his cell for 23 hours a day. This is due to safety concerns. In fact, here's his attorney, Mark Agnifilo, describing the conditions of the MDC.
Can you describe the conditions of the prison right now for us?
So it is, the food is inedible, from what I've been told. It's way too hot in summer. Sometimes there's no heat at all in the winter. The toilet water has been known to freeze. It's violent. Someone like Mr. Combs, might be a target for certain things.
Okay, so what's going on here? How could this affect Sean Combs? Does this investigation have anything to do with the high-profile nature of Sean Combs' case? Well, let me bring in prison consultant Justin Paperny to talk a little bit more about this. Justin, so good to see you. Thanks for coming on. Before we even get into this latest development about what this investigation could be, what do you know about the MDC?
I know for quite some time they've needed long-term change there. Safety issues around the prison, the contraband. There is a problem at the top with leadership. When you're in high metropolitan areas, it's tough to get people to want to work there. There's high turnover. So this leadership failure is putting prisoners in jeopardy. There's very little accountability.
This time, it wasn't the music, the fame, or even the legal drama alone that made headlines. It was Diddy himself, appearing in court with a dramatically altered look. Gone was the polished, larger-than-life figure fans once knew. In his place stood a man with gray hair and a full beard, dressed in a dark suit, looking somber and worn. The transformation was striking, and it has everyone asking, is this just age, or the visible weight of a man under crushing pressure? Diddy, once a titan in the entertainment world, is now in the middle of a storm. Multiple lawsuits, federal investigations, and public scrutiny have put his empire on shaky ground. Longtime fans remember him as the confident mastermind behind chart-topping hits and multi-million-dollar ventures. But his latest court appearance told a very different story. Observers couldn't help but notice the stark contrast. The gray beard, the tired eyes, a look that seemed to reflect not just aging, but a man being weathered by relentless legal battles and an uncertain future. Social media lit up with speculation. Some believe this transformation is intentional, a subtle message about his current struggle. Others argue it's the natural toll of stress, pressure, and sleepless nights, but this isn't just about how Diddy looks. It's about what he's living through. Inside a cell barely 8 by 10 feet, with a thin 1.5-inch mattress on cold concrete, reports say he's forced to sleep on the ground, sharing space with rats that silently pass by. It's a stark fall from grace, and a brutal reminder that no amount of celebrity can protect someone from the harsh realities of incarceration. His attorney, Mark Agnifilo, didn't mince words in court. Asterisk, it's a very difficult place to be an inmate. Asterisk, the message is clear. The conditions Diddy faces are not just tough, they're dehumanizing. From red carpets to cold concrete, this is the reality of Sean Diddy Combs now, a man facing more than just legal consequences, but the crumbling of an image and empire he spent decades building.
Specific cell that Diddy is in. Obviously, I know that you haven't been there to see it, but just hypothesizing based on your familiarity with MDC. You mentioned 6 by 8 cell. What else is there? I mean, for those of us who are visualizing it, who haven't been inside, what would it look like?
So it would have a bunk bed style. So you'd have two beds on a bunk, and then they'll have a one flat mattress on both bunks, depending on if he has a cellmate. I'm not sure if he does or not. There's a desk, a small desk, a little chair, a sink, and also a toilet. And then there's typically a small mirror, not necessarily glass, but there's something in there so that way you can have a reflection of yourself in terms of grooming on a day-to-day basis.
There have been some reports that Diddy has gotten quote unquote special treatment in the way that he's gotten different food than other inmates or more shower time perhaps. Do you think any of that has any merit?
Well, I would ordinarily say no. He would not be getting any special food because when you're talking about a jail operation with thousands of inmates, the food is actually prepped 3 days in advance because the food is actually cooked in one area. Then they're boxed up and put on carts and then moved to the various units in the East and West building. So I would say no. Now, in terms of if he's not like a meat eater, there's what we call a common fare, where they have vegan and vegetarian options and that nature. But no, he would not be receiving any special diet or meal. There's a national menu that each institution has to go with.
But for now, Diddy is behind bars at MDC, this Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn. And his team has brought up some concerns about this place. I mean, by all accounts, it's not a great place to be, not that any jail is, but the conditions sound a little bit worse than maybe other jails out there. Do you think if he isn't granted bail, his team could still say, hey, let's transfer him to a new one ahead of the trial?
They're going to try everything. They're going to try to transfer him. They're going to try to get him out. In a normal case where it's a high-profile person or a well-funded person, the prosecution and the judge is a little bit more concerned about a wrongful prosecution because people that are mad that they're being arrested for a crime they didn't commit can turn around and file for malicious prosecution. It sounds like there's enough evidence there that they can argue with a straight face that we had a basis to go forward, right? There's so many people coming out of the woodwork that no one's going to say that they were malicious about this. They went after him without any evidence, without any basis for it whatsoever. But certainly there are things that can be done, but the truth is every jail is bad. Some jails are worse than others. And the problem again is if you move him, why is he getting special treatment? And maybe he's earned special treatment. Maybe what he's done, maybe he's given so much back to his fans and to the world and to charity that maybe there's a way that it plays out in the end. But again, to go into court and say this jail is bad, move him to another jail is not your first argument. That's sort of everything else failed. Judge, let me at least earn my keep and get something better for my client than this horrible place that he's in. And they are going to be saying it over and over and over. Innocent till proven guilty. You're putting an innocent man not just in jail, but in a place that's not just a holding place. It's a place that's terrible, especially for him or for anyone.
And yet, in the darkness of his cell, Diddy's heart remains tethered to what matters most, his family. His 7 children, Quincy, Justin, Christian, King, Chance, the twins Delilah and Jesse, and 2-year-old Love, are the flickers of light in an otherwise bleak existence. Sources close to the family told TMZ that while Diddy is managing to stay composed behind bars, the real torment comes from the pain of being separated from his kids. People closest to him are trying to process the situation, one insider shared, but they all know they have to be strong for the kids' sake. That quiet strength has become the family's anchor. It's felt in every emotional Instagram post, every public statement, and especially in the voices of his daughters, now stepping into roles they never imagined, not just as daughters, but as the keepers of their father's story, legacy, and strength.
Sean Combs' family has shown their support throughout this whole process. They have been going to court hearings. They have been posting on social media. In fact, 2 weeks ago, Quincy, Combs' adopted son, posted a photo of the family on Instagram that included Combs' mother Janice and his youngest child's mother Dana Tran. And the post read, "The past month has devastated our family. Many have judged both him and us based on accusations, conspiracy theories, and false narratives that have spiraled into absurdity on social media. We stand united, supporting you every step of the way. We hold on to the truth, knowing it will prevail, and nothing will break the strength of our family. We miss you and love you, Dad." But it is a birthday phone call with Sean Combs on the other end that is getting a lot of attention right now. And to set the stage, Sean Combs, he shares 7 children with 4 different women. So the oldest in the group, Quincy Brown, isn't actually Combs' biological son, but he was later adopted. He's the son of Kim Porter and singer and songwriter and record producer Albie Shore. He was named after his godfather, the legendary Quincy Jones, who, by the way, actually just passed away over the weekend. Combs' first biological child, who he had with fashion designer Misa Hilton, was born in 1993. We're talking about Justin Combs. He was thrust into the public spotlight in 2008 on MTV's My Super Sweet 16, where he was featured alongside his dad. Now we move on to Christian Combs. This was Diddy's first child with model Kim Porter. Christian, who goes by the name King Combs, has followed in his father's musical footsteps. He's launched a rap career of his own. He also does modeling. Chance Combs was born to Diddy and businesswoman Sarah Chapman, who was apparently Combs' friend at the time. The two never really publicly recognized their relationship. But just months later, Porter and Combs welcomed twin girls, Delilah and Jessie.
Happy birthday to keep going,
go. Happy birthday to Daddy.
Yay!
We love you too.
We love you, Pastor. Miss you.
I can't wait to see y'all.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see y'all. And I just want to say I'm proud of y'all. Proud of y'all, especially the girls. I mean, all of y'all. Just for being strong. Thank y'all for being strong, and thank y'all for being by my side and supporting me. I love y'all. I got the best family in the world. My birthday, I'm happy. Thanks to y'all giving me this call. Thank you very much. I love y'all.
We love you more too. Can't wait to see you in a couple of days.
I'll see y'all in a couple of days. What you say?
I love you, Daddy.
Yeah.
I love you too, baby.
Again, it's just wild because this is really the first time that we have heard Sean Combs' voice. Since what? When he publicly apologized on Instagram back in May after CNN published the 2016 video of him beating his ex-girlfriend Cassandra Ventura in a hotel hallway? He made an apology. 2 days later? We heard him then. Haven't really heard him since. So to hear his voice, and honestly, what seemed to be joy as he's locked up, facing these very serious charges that could send him to prison for the rest of his life, kind of surprising to hear that tone.
The Combs twins, Jessie and Delilah, once known for their vibrant Instagram snapshots of yacht parties and high school cheer routines, now find themselves facing a harsh and ironic twist of fate. What was once a carefree feed, filled with glitz and teenage joy, has taken on a bittersweet tone as they navigate their rising public profiles against the heavy backdrop of their father's incarceration. Their posts, once purely celebratory, now carry a quiet weight. Among the glamour and smiles are subtle but powerful nods to the pain behind the scenes. An empty chair at the family dinner table, a cryptic caption hinting at a father who is missing, but never forgotten. These moments, carefully curated yet deeply personal, strike a chord with their 700,000 followers, stirring empathy, heartbreak, and outrage all at once. The twins have become more than just influencers. They've become silent storytellers of a fractured family, trying to hold on to normalcy while the world watches a very public fall from grace.
So I chatted with your papa last week, because he's got this new album, the Love album.
Oh my
Also
God.
great.
Can't wait. The best album of the year, guys. Like, seriously, we've been listening to it for,
And it's amazing. We've seen it, be created and,
bottom to top, and it's killer. The development is, woo!
So you're proud of your papa on this one.
Oh, yeah.
And it's definitely got a different vibe and tone. It's definitely more R&B a Diddy, right?
Yeah, it gives you the R&B, just like love. It's just love in the album. Love era.
He is so in his love era. I was like, Diddy, okay, I've never seen the side of you. Is he ready to find real, true love? Has he found it, ladies? Oh, you looking at me like he told me he was single.
I don't think he's found it yet, but who knows? I think he's
searching for love.
I don't know. Yeah, we don't know.
Do y'all ever chime in on who Dad's dating?
No. We leave that to him.
We leave that to him.
You know better, right?
Yeah, but we do If it's not good, then we put it in check, definitely. But like, it's just
inspect the situation.
Yeah.
I mean,
we
you're
let him
his
do his
number-
thing most of the time.
You're his number one ladies. Let's be real, okay?
Yeah.
We also got Little Love.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, that little one is precious.
Amazing. We love her.
I know, right? And that hair. Oh my gosh, she's got a head full of it.
The curls are popping.
I know. And your papa seems so excited to be having a little one in the mix. And I'm sure.
I'm not asking for forgiveness. I'm truly sorry.
Or as a parent, you worry. You want them to be okay. You want them to be safe.
The model celebrating the twins and their prom pics on Instagram, telling the teens, "I am so very proud of you, my babies." Kimora getting emotional over the milestone 5 years after their shared heartbreak. She was close with their mother and Diddy's ex, Kim Porter.
When I lost Kim, it broke my heart forever.
Kimora stepping in to help raise the girls after Kim's 2018 death. And now, over 5 years later, Kimora telling her late friend's kids, "I love you always and will protect you fiercely to the end with all I have." Of course, the mama bear mentality coming easy to the mom of 5.
They're pretty good kids, and they're active members of society, and they're engaged, and they're happy. I think that's saying a lot.
Kimora Lee Simmons has promised to fiercely protect Diddy's daughters, Delilah and Jessie, as their father apologizes following the release of shocking security footage.
Diddy Combs reportedly underwent treatment in a hospital as he continues to await trial on trafficking charges. According to Page 6, the 55-year-old was transported from Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, the federal prison where he was sent following his September arrest, late January 30th to undergo an MRI and was then soon returned to police custody later that night. The outlet cites a source as saying that the medical scan was authorized because his knee was bothering him. E! News has reached out to reps for Diddy and the Federal Bureau of Prisons for comment and has not heard back. The Grammy winner's attorney, Mark Agnafilo, tells TMZ, quote, "I cannot comment on anything related to prisoner movements. Also, I'm not commenting on anything related to possible medical issues." Diddy had shared in a since-deleted Instagram post in 2017 that he had undergone his third knee surgery in a year. The Federal Bureau of Prisons has neither confirmed nor denied the reports about Diddy's hospital visit. A spokesperson for the government agency tells the New York Post, quote, "For privacy, safety, and security reasons, we do not comment on the conditions of confinement for anyone in our custody to include medical status or medical trips." The hospital visit allegedly took place hours after federal prosecutors filed a new criminal indictment against the rap mogul, accusing him of coercing 2 additional women into commercial sex acts. No additional charges are included in the new filing, as the original September indictment had referenced 1 female victim. His lawyer has accused the prosecutors of making a major error in the new indictment.
Yes, he is definitely taken out at that time. And I'm sure this arrangement was made weeks in advance to make sure that that technician or that clinician was going to be available to take a look at whatever issues that he may be experiencing right now. So that way, there's not a whole lot of onlookers. And then even with staff and other inmates, it gives them not an opportunity to make a call, to their family. Hey, I think, Diddy's going out to the hospital right now. If anybody wants to take a look at him, head out there. And then I think the other thing, Sierra, is since there are no cameras in the courthouse throughout this process, we've only been getting the sketch artist views of their perspective of what he looks like. And I think people have been talking about him losing weight and different things of that nature. So I know folks will probably want to be able to get a photo of him to see what he actually looks like. And and if he does have issues with his legs, is he walking with a limp? Does he have does he have a cane or anything like that? So yeah, I think that would be the reason why that they would make this, take this measure, which I've never seen in my career. Someone taken out to the hospital at this time of night for something as basic as an MRI.
The model shared heartfelt pictures of Diddy's twins on Instagram, telling them, "I am so very proud of you, my babies." Kimora got emotional over the milestone, reflecting on their shared heartbreak 5 years after the passing of their mother, Kim Porter, with whom she was very close.
For music mogul Sean Diddy Combs, vowing to fight for Combs after a judge denied the rapper and music mogul bail and ordered him to stay in federal detention until the beginning of his criminal sex crimes trial. Combs faces 3 federal charges: racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion, and transportation to engage in prostitution. Combs has pleaded not guilty to those charges. In an unsealed indictment, prosecutors allege Combs, quote, abused, threatened, and coerced women and others around him to fulfill his sexual desires, protect his reputation, and conceal his conduct, unquote. It goes on to say, quote, on numerous occasions from at least in or about 2009 and continuing for years, Combs assaulted women, among other things, striking, punching, dragging, throwing objects at, and kicking them, unquote. Combs has been for years a celebrated artist. His work is credited with growing the hip-hop genre and cultivating top artists such as Christopher Wallace, better known as Notorious B.I.G. And now Combs is obviously a criminal defendant. CNN's Ellie Honig, who used to work as a prosecutor for the U.S. Attorney's Office in the Southern District of New York, joins us now. Ellie, as he was leaving court for the day, Combs' attorney said they're appealing the decision on bail. How likely is that appeal to succeed?
Right, Jake. So people understand what happened. The judge who made the decision today was a magistrate judge. That is essentially a judge who handles ministerial tasks, initial appearances. Tomorrow, the defense will take the case to the district judge. That's the judge who will handle this case all the way through trial. If I had to guess, I would say the district judge will agree with the magistrate judge and keep Sean Combs locked up.
I mean, the nature of these charges are so serious, the allegations are so serious, that it's not surprising that at this hearing he was denied bail. The judge has to look at things like whether or not he could be expected to return to court. Does he have the manner and means to perhaps evade law enforcement and not appear? Is he a flight risk, in other words? And so I think at this point the judge has decided that the fact that he was doing these acts in secret did not obviously lend much to his statements that he will be open and available. So I'm not surprised at all, but again, we will see what the district judge now does, since the case has been, or the decision has been at least appealed up, whether or not there are some terms of bail that might make the court comfortable that he will show up for court.
Now, turning to the charges themselves, they are amongst the most serious, which would involve very long periods of incarceration if convicted. But it also raises the question, if there was a plea deal at some point in the future, to plead down from these very serious charges, the lesser accepted offences would also be serious and could end up in prison.
I think any plea discussion of the case, because you have such significant impact on the victims of the case, would necessitate that he be sentenced to prison in some way. I just don't think that a judge would take and place him on probation or some type of house arrest given the allegations that were made, no matter what the plea discussions were. And remember, the prosecution and a defendant can negotiate a plea amongst themselves, but a court has the decision finally on whether or not to accept that recommendation, and ultimately has the authority to make a decision about whether or not a prison sentence is.
When I lost Kim, it broke my heart forever, Kimora said, stepping in to help raise Diddy's twins after their mother, Kim Porter, passed away in 2018. Now, over 5 years later, Kimora tells her late friend's kids, I love you always and will protect you fiercely to the end with all I have. The mama bear mentality comes naturally to Kimora, a proud mom of 5. Meanwhile, the physical signs of Diddy's suffering continue to intensify. In a particularly concerning development, sources reveal that Diddy underwent a mysterious MRI late at night. According to Page 6, he was rushed from the Metropolitan Detention Center to Brooklyn Hospital around 10 p.m. for a non-invasive test due to complaints about his knee. The secrecy surrounding the medical scan, conducted under such unusual circumstances, raises more questions than it answers. Why would a man